All right, guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Throttlecast, powered by Ride Lounge, Atlanta's, I would say, most esteemed car storage place and automotive social club. Joined by one of my very good friends, Dani Friedman, a.k.a. Dani Butler. Many of you may know him from his time spent at Butler Tire. You've been entrenched in the automotive community for such a long time, man. Great to have you on here, brother.
Thank you, man. I've been waiting a while.
Yep.
Been waiting a while. This place is impressive, though.
And we've got our co-host, Dave Codre, one of the founders here at Ride Lounge, so happy to get started. Tell everybody kind of who you are, how you started in this industry, and kind of what you're doing right now. Just kind of a little brief intro, if you don't mind.
It's a long. How far back do we go? Yeah, how far back? I'll start in the beginning. My family owned and operated and founded Butler Tire in Atlanta, which is a sort of like a legacy company. Been around for a long time, 50 years. About, I'd say 18 years ago, I went to my uncle. Social media was just sort of starting, and I posted a picture of a really cool car that they did on Facebook, and I got a bunch of engagement, and you know, the endorphins started rolling, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And so I went to him and said, hey, I don't want to mess with the rest of your marketing. I just want to do your social media. Just let me share your pictures or whatever. Let's come up with a strategy. And after about back and forth for a while, he came back and said, what do you think about running the entire marketing department? Because right now we outsource everything. We'd like to bring everything in-house and let you run it. And then after like an intensive interview process, I turned to him and I'm like, his name was Mel. That's my uncle, rest in peace. But I said to him, I'm like, Mel, I'm your nephew. You know, I'm not going to mess this up. And if I do mess it up, then you'll just fire me. We're still family. Like to go through 5 interviews for this position, you know, anyway, that's how I got started in the industry. I dove headfirst into it, and the longer I was in it, the more I loved it. I love the culture. I love the people. I love making a difference. A lot of things that people don't know personally about me is that it's never about the money. It's about the relationships that I make. It's about the connections and the automotive industry as a whole. So, yeah, I mean, I loved it from day one. The grind, and I mean, we came up at the same time.
That's
you
right.
know, I mean,
it was like what 2013ish, somewhere in that zone.
I
mean, AMG, let's call it, and just got a little work done at the store. We became friends. You're like, hey man, come out to this car show, and man, those were the golden days, weren't they?
Yeah, for me to be able to get out of my office and network and socialize with a lot of our clients, and then who many of them have become really, really good friends, was awesome. And so my position allowed that. And what's funny is that by nature I'm an introvert, and I love my peace and I love my quiet, but my job forced me to be an extrovert, which was okay.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun at Butler, and I don't regret anything that we did there or my time there. It was a great time in my life.
Yeah.
And perfect.
And so, you know, you've got a pretty unique background. You know, born in South Africa, eventually landing here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
What was that transition like for you?
It's really, really weird, and it's really, really different. Growing up in South Africa, you go to the movie theater or the cinema and you watch movies that are made in America. And then you come to America and you see a 7-Eleven and you're like, oh my God, that's like a real thing. It's not just a movie prop. So moving here was, and keep in mind, I'd come and visited here. My family has been here since 1978, I think. And so I'd been coming and visiting a few times before I actually moved, but it was the land of opportunity. I always found that the people that I met over here, everybody just worked hard, and the sky was the limit. It was the American dream.
Yeah.
And so every time I would go back, I knew that eventually I would land up living in the United States. And unfortunately, I didn't have the best opportunity in South Africa to become someone. It didn't matter how hard I worked. I just was not plugged in like I could be over here. And so I moved here. It was awesome. This is home. I've been here for going on 28 years now, and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I really wouldn't. I travel internationally, and every time I fly back into Atlanta, I get butterflies in my stomach, and I'm like, I'm home.
Yeah.
You know, this is home. I love the people. I love everybody here. So, yeah, it was a great transition. I haven't been back to South Africa since 2004. There's so many other countries in the world that I want to visit.
Yeah.
And spending 15, 16 hours on an airplane is not my idea of fun.
I mean, I looked at Atlanta the same way, and I was living in East Tennessee at the time, and I looked at Atlanta as kind of like the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't know that automotively that would be it, because at the time I was working for a technology company, took a 3-year hiatus from the automotive industry, but that was one of the reasons why I came here. I'm like, there's got to be so much more opportunity here than in a small town like Knoxville, Tennessee, let's call it, you know.
Look, I mean, when I moved here in '97. I mean, you could get in the car and get anywhere in 15 minutes. There weren't a lot of people, friendly people would wave at you and say hello when you walk down the street. I don't know if that's really true today. And, you know, Atlanta's now known for having rush hour traffic from 3 a.m. till 2 a.m. every single day. But it was a different place. It was really a different place. There was a lot of opportunity here to make money if you were willing to put in the time. And coming here when I was 20 years old, all I knew how to do was work hard.
Yeah.
So I remember I'd landed here, and within 3 days I had a job, and I was driving from Marietta to Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, had no idea about distance, had, you know, no concept of anything.
It's like, that sounds good, I can make that drive, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not like, I mean, in today's times, you calculating how long is the drive and how much of the week am I going to spend in the car, and is it actually worth it to do it? But back then I was just excited to be here, like, oh my God, someone's going to pay me. And I was in automotive electronics and security. I worked for a company called American Radio.
I remember them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They still around?
I don't know, but the guy who interviewed me, I'll never forget his name. His name was Eric Quackenbush. And he was like my first intro to working for an American-owned company.
But so you landed, got an interview in like one day, and were
Yeah,
working on day 3?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
I mean, it's a long story.
It's the accent.
That sounds like a short story.
It's
That's
the
like pretty darn quick. That's like right away.
No, I'd spoken to my uncle, and he said to me, you know, because I came here, I mean, listen, I came from lower to mid-income family in South Africa. My dad was not exactly the most successful person in the world, but he was happy, and he was content. But he worked, you know, hand to mouth, and it just didn't work for me. I felt like there was always more, and I wanted more out of life than struggling every single month. And so when I landed, my uncle was like, cut your hair, change the way you dress, get a job, and we can talk. And I was like, cool. And the very next day I went, found a job, and I became an installer at American Radio. And I keep in mind, I mean, I would always come visit here, but I would just be in the South African network. So I was never like interacting with Americans per se, outside of going to the store and talking to them. And all of a sudden I get dumped in the middle of Peachtree Industrial Boulevard with all these guys who are doing installation and AC services, and they were doing leather conversions on the vehicles.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was amazing.
How long did you do that for?
I was there for like a year or two, and it was like a sad story. And I was so bummed. It was the first time I ever got fired from a job, and I was like upset. I was really upset because I was genuinely trying to do good, and my uncle Mel had a bunch of connections up at Lake Lanier. We had a house up there. The family had a house up there, and he connected me with a bunch of his friends. And I used to work at American Radio. I had no friends here. I didn't know anybody, and so I would finish work there at like 5:30 in summer, and I would head to Lake Lanier, and I would work on his friends' boats. I would install stereos and what have you in their boats. And so what I would do is I would pay the manager cash, and he would give me the equipment from American Radio. And then one day I got called in, and the owner was sitting there, and he was like, hey, we've been alerted that you've been stealing equipment, and so we have to let you go. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I looked at the guy's name was Eric. I'll never forget him because I saw him many years later at Butler. But I looked at him and I'm like, I gave you cash. And they were like, well, do you have receipts for the equipment? And I'm like, no. And he sat and looked me in the face and told me that I never, ever gave him cash for the equipment. I'm not that guy. If anybody knows me, I'm just not that dude. And so I got fired, and I was upset, man. I mean, you're talking a 21-year-old in tears.
Yeah.
You know. But I bounced back. I left, and I went and worked at a different place, and slowly it got me to the position that I'm in today. And so I never ever look back. I don't ever look back. The only reason I do is to see how far I've come. But I don't regret any. Yeah.
And
told you it was a long story.
Yeah. And then so when you started doing social media for Butler Tire, I mean, that was like at the very forefront of when social media existed. So I'm guessing like you just thought that you could do it. You didn't have any formalized training on that or anything.
No, so I mean,
kind of pioneering it. Really.
There's a big chunk of my professional career that I mean, I got to a point with car stereo where I knew that I'd reached the ceiling unless I had the know-how and the capital to own my own business. I was going to earn $60,000 for the rest of my life, and I didn't want that. So I came in and I quit. I quit on the spot, and I'm like, this ain't doing it for me. And I was at home, and the internet had just been invented, pretty much. Yeah. You were still on dial-up, and AOL was a thing, and somehow I saw Felix the cat walk across the screen, and I'm like, oh my God, how did they do that? And so I've got a very, very curious mind. Like we were having a conversation before about water and coffee, and if something like intrigues me, I go down a rabbit hole until I feel confident enough that I know enough about it that I can have a conversation about it. And so I went and I signed myself up for HTML and Macromedia Flash back then, and started learning coding. And then I opened up a web development company the day before the .com crashed. And so it was a great time to be around. And I was, believe it or not, we used to take a Yellow Pages book and we used to start at A. And we would call every single company. Wow. You need a website, you need a website, you need a website. And we gained a bunch of customers that way, but we very, very quickly realized that anybody can build a web page at that point. Monster templates came out and GoDaddy offered templates. And so I started thinking, I'm like, well, if everybody can build a website, I don't think anybody or everybody can drive traffic to it. So then I started focusing more on the online marketing when SEO was very, very, very early stages, and Google had just been invented, and there was black hat tactics and there was white hat tactics, and there was keyword stuffing and not. And I started focusing on lead generating websites. And so I would go to these companies and say, hey, I can build the site for you. Not only can I build it, but I can drive traffic to it and then convert that traffic into new business and new leads. Yeah. So my intro into social media was just like an interest of mine, just a passion. But I came into Butler, and the first conversation I had, not the first, but within the first few months was, if we don't adapt, this brand's going to die. Your clients are dying. So social media was a great platform in order to appeal to the younger demographic. And back then it was all about likes. There weren't shares yet. There weren't any of that. But and today I'm, about 50-50, but I'm still a firm believer that likes do not equate to sales. Yeah. But as long as we were present with the younger demographic, and as they went through their schooling and they graduated college and they were starting their professional career, we were present with them and we grew with them through those phases of life. Smart. Butler would be relevant at that point. And then the older generation would get phased out, and then the younger generation, when they started becoming successful, Butler would be the brand that they would like to associate with.
And that's a long-term look at developing customers.
Yeah. So, when you work for a family-owned and operated company, I mean, you guys probably know, but change doesn't happen overnight. And when you're working with your family and your family believes that what they've been doing is working, so don't change it, and then you've got somebody who comes in who thinks differently, you start implementing change very, very slowly, and then as you implement the change, you measure success, and then you present the success, and then when you want to present something newer, they're more likely open to it. But when I started, they were doing billboards, Yellow Pages ads, newspaper ads, radio, traditional radio, and they had 4 or 5 permanent channels of marketing or advertising. And by the time I left, I think there were between 13 and 16 different marketing channels that I had introduced one at a time. So we would go in, I would refine it, I would understand what the purpose of that channel was, and once I was happy and satisfied with it, then we would go after the next and the next and the next. So there were layers within Butler.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know is that when you look at social media, you know, you're not going to post a smart car, which, I mean, you know, I love a smart car, and that one back there is amazing. But you're not going to post a smart car and get the same engagement as posting a Lamborghini. So, you know, it's an augmented world, social media, and we understood that. What kept our doors open was selling 4 tires and, you know, brakes and suspension and alignment. So we had to appeal to your daily driver, and each one of the marketing channels that I created appealed to a different demographic, so that we were covering the whole scope of what was needed in order to keep the doors open. So it wasn't just one approach. Like, social media was just that, you know, this is the most expensive vehicles that we work on, and this is, if you had unlimited money, this is what you could achieve. But it's not a reality. I mean, you can't sustain a business on that, just on that.
Well, it obviously worked. I mean, you had basically every major high-end dealership that's doing work through you guys.
Yeah.
You've got athletes. You guys have had celebrities. Staying on topic with Butler Tire, but shifting gears a little bit. I mean, what is like, you've got to have some crazy stories. What's like the craziest thing that you can remember that's worth sharing about maybe a Butler with a client or a job or something?
So I want to preface something that, I mean, I had a great foundation, and, you know, we spoke about this off air a bit earlier, that I'm working on a new project, and I'm understanding now how difficult it is to get something off the ground. I had a great foundation of which to build on. My uncles had built an unbelievable business. The reputation was everything, Butler's reputation, and you don't sustain a business for 50 years if you're doing bad business. And so to carry that weight on your shoulders, or to carry that torch, it was huge, and it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot more than they ever knew.
Sure.
It gave me opportunities to meet people and interact with people. I dealt with a lot of celebrities. All of them were kept quiet, a lot of athletes. Not that we hated working with them, but they were a lot more demanding than your typical clients.
Sure.
But what I did love about it is that every single one of them were paying clients. We never, ever gave anything away for free.
That's good.
Ever. Yeah. You know, and, oh, well, I'm Shaquille O'Neal. You should give me a set of wheels of tire. I'm like, if you're Shaquille O'Neal, you should support a small family-owned and operated business.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we had a lot of interesting clients. I mean, I'm not going to, I try not to mention names, sure. But I mean, now that I'm gone, it really doesn't matter. But TI was a great customer of ours. We've had some really, really crazy stories. I don't think anything outside of the norm. I mean, celebrities are celebrities, and you know, I pride myself in treating everybody the same. Exactly. I don't care how much money you had. Even today, some of my really good friends, I remember, just happened to pick up the phone in one of the stores, and it was my friend Corey, and he had called me, and he's like, "Do y'all sell used tires?" And I'm like, "No, not really. That's not our forte." He's like, "Okay, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you even picking the phone up." And I'm like, "Well, bro, what do you need? You know?" And he had an old beat up Lexus back then, and it had 4 different wheels on it and 4 different tires. And he was like, "Well, I just need this one tire, you know." And he's like, "I just don't have a lot of money." And I'm like, "Give me a second," because we used to recycle all the old tires all the time. And sometimes, I mean, if you come in and one tire needs to be replaced, the other time I'd have 50% trade, but you replace both of them. So I came back, I called him back, and I said, "Bro, you're in huge luck. I have one of these tires. It's probably got 30%, 40% tread." And he's like, "I'll take it. How much?" And I'm like, "Bro, just come in. I'll take care of you." You know.
That's cool.
And so I hooked him up, and I mean, through that, just by creating that connection, I mean, he became a lifelong, and now he's successful. He's got a family. He's married, and I've been a part of that entire
That's
journey.
Awesome.
He's got one of the most beautiful Eleanor replicas I've ever seen in my entire life.
Really?
That he hand built with his dad.
Wow.
I know about his kid is one of the cutest kids that just got born. You know, I play golf with him often, but those are the stories that would come, you know, versus, something that's so radical that you can create social media content around it.
Yeah.
That to me is what means the most.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's hundreds of people like that.
Yeah, those connections are just the greatest. I mean, a lot of the guys I still talk to today that we met 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the AMG days, man. I think that's where we first met each other. I think you had the was it a 2014 C63 coupe?
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
The white one, right?
P31 edition. Yeah.
And then
do you know what sold me on that car?
Same time.
He had the C300 of the same.
It was a C250, but it was debadged.
Yeah.
And then I had the quad tips. I was trying to fake it till I make it sort of situation. It looked good though.
But what sold me on that is that I was watching YouTube back then, and somebody had a cold start of that. It's a 5.3 liter V8 or
6.2.
Oh, 6.2, that's
6.2,
right.
yeah.
It was a 6.2 liter V8, and it had this like nasty growl as you cranked it up, and I'm like, oh, I must have that. And I was a BMW dude up until then.
What did you have before that?
So I had an E46 M3,
perfect.
which I was driving down the road, which I think is, in my opinion, outside of a GT4, I think is the most perfect vehicle out there. It is
Hard to argue with that.
It's so perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
I think it was 333 horsepower. You could take it through the ringer, through the mountains.
Use all of it. Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
You didn't ever feel like you were out of control.
Nope.
It was an amazing car. I was driving it down the road, and as I was driving it, I must have hit a bump, and not significant because I always had wheels on my cars, but I hit a bump and all the airbags deployed. I thought I got shot.
Like, was it a hard hit, or was
it was not a hard hit at all? And very long story short, after I had to get a third-party investigator to come into BMW to prove that it was a sensor in the fender that they had a recall on, that they hadn't dealt with my car. And so they try to say that I had impact on the undercarriage, and that's what deployed the airbags. And I brought this third-party investigator in who gave them like an 80-page report proving that the impact that was underneath that was shown didn't affect those airbags.
Common? I don't ever
Do you
remember.
crash after like the airbag goes off?
So
Everything.
the airbag goes off, and I think the first thing is, first of all, the car goes into limp mode, and so you're in shock because all the curtains, all the steering wheel, the dashboard, everything, every single one of them, the car goes into limp mode. And I thought, I seriously, like legitimately thought I got shot. So I'm looking and I'm checking my body and I'm good. And I just happened to be about 6 or 7 miles from my mom's house. So I limped it all the way there. You can't do over 25 miles an hour. I limped it all the way up there, then had to have it towed to BMW, and BMW claimed that it was not the vehicle's fault, that it was mine.
Typical dealer response.
Anyway, after a little bit of research, and that's what was so beautiful about online communities, is it was a common issue. It was a left front sensor that if you hit a bump too hard, or what it senses too hard, it sensed it as impact. And it was a recall, and it was a problem that eventually I contacted BMW North America, and I said, if you don't fix this, they wanted like $18,000. Now, my E46 had 100,000 miles on it at that point. I drove the hell out of this car. It was the greatest car ever, and I drove it. There was no like, don't put miles on it, you're going to resell it, nothing. This was your car.
You had planned on keeping that car. The C63 wasn't even a thought.
No, it wasn't even a thought. But the E92 M3 had come out, and I was like, now it's like a facelift, it's beautiful, it's a little bit, you don't understand what you have in the period that you have it. The E46, I mean, I've even spoken to Craig, my cousin, about it. I'm like, I would buy that car 100 times over.
We all would.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a great one.
Yeah, and so anyway, eventually BMW made me sign an NDA, and they repaired the entire car. They admitted guilt and fault, and they knew that this was an issue. They fixed the car, and as they fixed the car, it took them about 3.5 months. But I had already ordered a E92, a mineral white E92 M3 manual, which if anybody's out there, I think the E92 manual is probably the worst transmission ever made. You cannot shift from first to second and third without giving your passenger whiplash. It didn't matter. You put a short shifter in, you do whatever you want. It was not possible. I hated that car. I hated that car so much. I smoked cigars in it every single day. It was a lease. I remember it was a lease. And when I turned it in, my detailer was like, you have 10 minutes to get this car to the dealership. Let them do the inspection. And I even remember seeing it like 3 months later. I was buying my mom an X1. And they had it on in the showroom at BMW. Is it not Global United?
United.
Or by where 285 is.
That's Global, isn't it?
Global, yeah. They had it in there on display with the windows down. You stick your head in there. It was terrible.
People don't understand, like, cigar smoke is so much tougher
so pungent
to get out than cigarette smoke.
So you just had a little argument with your car for a couple months.
Yeah, I mean, I had to argue with them, and then eventually they replaced it. But I had the E92 for like 2-3 years, and I loved it for what it was. At some certain point, I had the bright idea of putting Lamborghini orange. I don't know what's the orange color from Lambo.
It'd be like Arancio Atlas or Arancio Borealis.
Yeah. So I had my wheels powder coated that, and I put it onto a mineral white. It looked like a what are they, creamsicle?
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to be like a trendsetter or whatever. And every time I drove by, these little kids were like, Mommy, look at a popsicle, creamsicle. But anyway, that led me to Mercedes.
Yeah.
And I think that once you get into Mercedes, you understand that there's luxury and performance.
It's a different car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I loved that P31. In fact, I sold it to a girl. Every time I would leave my house to go to Butler, she would be going to work in Marietta.
Yeah.
And she found me on social media, and she said, if you ever want to sell the car, just let me know. I want first option on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, amazing. I started being a little bit more successful, and I was looking for a new car. And I contacted her, and I said, hey, the car's available if you want. I think I sold it. First of all, I had like a $12,000 or $15,000 sound system in it from cartoons.
The thing was hooked up, man.
Jammers. I mean, and it had 21,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
Back then, and I think she paid $23,000 for it.
Oh, God.
And I remember during COVID in 2020, because we stayed friends, I actually landed up contacting her back and saying, hey, I want to buy the car back. And she was like, 50 grand, you can have it.
Gosh.
I sold it to her with 21,000 miles, and I think 4 or 5 years later, she had put 3,000 miles on the car.
Oh, wow. So she didn't.
Yeah, she didn't really drive it at all.
And then the plot thickens, the story gets better. So I'm at Motor Cars of Atlanta, and then I get a call from him. He's like, hey, man, find me another C63. I want a newer body.
Yeah.
And he had found one. It was at an AutoNation dealership, which they're notorious for being difficult to work with. Not saying that's always the case.
No,
but
it was Anna was in Nevada.
Yeah.
And we couldn't
It's like pure pricing. They wouldn't negotiate.
Yeah.
They had a crazy dock fee, and I was like, Danny, this spec is a little kind of just blah. I was like, let me find you a really good one. And I found a private ownered Edition 1.
Edition 1.
With the, I want to say it was Magno Allanite, which is like the matte gray.
Yeah.
Typically
Magno Selenite.
Selenite. Yeah.
Selenite, yeah.
Yeah, and so typically these cars, they were really ugly from the factory because they, yours look great, but they had this yellow double stripe down the hood. They had these yellow lipped wheels. The interior was better. It had like some yellow accents, but this one had a full exterior yellow delete. So it was just the matte gray. Then it had, I forget what wheels it had on it, but it had the
factory. But he had taken the yellow stripe off. He had deleted all the yellow off, so you got this matte gray.
How it should have came from the factory.
Yeah.
And then it had the ceramics, so it had these like beautiful like orange copper calipers.
Yeah.
And I'm calling Dan. I was like, dude, I think this is the one. It was priced right. He's like, dude, I don't know about the matte paint. And this was like, matte paint wasn't as big then as it is now.
Had just begun.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know about the matte paint.
Actually, I think it was one of the first vehicles that had the satin PPF on it.
Yeah, because we had just PPF'd, Tim Pollock had just PPF'd no, not Balloon White, what was it? Bianco Canopus, the matte white Huracan. And he had stealth film on it. And I was like, hey, you can do this to it. And like it was a new thing back then. Yeah. So we were looking into it. He's like, all right,
expensive.
Man. You were a little apprehensive, but you're like, all right, man, I'm going to trust you on this. When we got the car in, and dude, you love that thing, man.
No, I think you left out the most important thing. We paid for the vehicle. The customer had the money and he had the car and wouldn't release the vehicle until he got the title. And so I remember Brandon, you calling me and being like, I don't know, but he kept it for like 12 or 14 days after we had sent payment.
Oh, for the check to clear maybe, or?
Do you remember? And then Brandon came to me and he's like, listen, I'm not, this is not how we do business. In fact, Brandon was holding the check, but he gave him a copy of it, and the guy said, I'm not releasing the vehicle until the check is in my account and it's cleared. And so Brandon was like, okay, so you want the check, the title, and the car, and you expect me to be, and the guy for 12 days refused to release.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, release the vehicle. So when it finally arrived, it was like, oh my God, because there had to be a level of trust there, right?
Correct.
Of like, I'm going to let this car go and trust that the check's in the mail. And then from Brandon and Motorcars and you guys from Motorcars, I'm going to send this, it was, I don't know, $70,000, $80,000 check.
Yeah, and we're a big entity, right? You know.
Yeah. So, but and also I think you guys were doing this for me as a favor.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that, no, it wasn't something that you typically did.
Yeah.
12 days is a long time, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then every time we contact, he's like, I don't care. Until the money's in my bank, I'm not releasing this car. And it's like, we sent you a picture and we sent you the FedEx tracking number.
Yeah.
We're not sending, if you once you release the car or it's on a trailer, that's when we send you the money. Otherwise, you've got the money, the title, and the car.
Yeah.
What's to stop you from...
From doing that again.
Yeah. So...
Dude, that thing was so nice.
Yeah.
This car's
it's
beautiful.
Yeah, no, that was my entry into like loving, like I loved that car.
Did I have mine at the same time? Because I had an edition one, but mine wasn't a coupe. Mine was a sedan.
Yeah.
Black and red. I either had just had mine or that car made me buy mine.
I don't know.
But I had one, and it was, dude, it
So
was
you
so
still
great.
have it?
No. So after that, which is so funny, because I don't change cars often. I'm not one of those. But I had that for a while. I had it for like 2 years, 2-3 years. And
You're
I've
stuck
always
with
got this
Mercedes,
thing.
right?
Yeah, it's either 3 years or 50,000 miles, whichever comes first. And then COVID started hitting, and I don't know, the AMG GT body style came into mind.
I do like those.
And again, I'd leveled up a little bit more at Butler, and so I could afford a little bit more. And COVID had just hit, and I found this AMG GTC at a Hyundai dealership. And I was like, they wanted...
Traded in for 3 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember. They wanted like this crazy amount for it. And I called them. I think they wanted like 145, 148 back then. It was almost a brand new car.
Yeah, it's a bunch
And I
of
called
money.
them. I'm like, why do you have it out of everybody? And it's like the owner bought it for his wife, and his wife drove it around for like 1,500 miles and hated it. It's too fast for her. And, you know, because it's got the long nose on it.
Yeah.
She hated it, you know. And I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 110 for it. I know COVID's coming. You guys are going to be struggling. I'll give you 110 for it. Let me know if you take it. And then the guy just laughed at me, and I said, okay, here's my phone number. Just call me when you're desperate. And he put the phone down, and 2 days later, he's like, can you do 112 shipped? And I was like, absolutely. You know, so he overnighted me the paperwork. And so I landed up sending the C63 down to him. I traded it in on, and I love that GTC.
Oh, yeah. I've always loved them. Such a great
Don't
looking
sleep
car.
on that car, because it is one of the greatest cars.
And you can buy them now for like an early
60, 70 grand.
Like that's
Yeah.
so much car for the money.
Trust me, and like if you're in the market or are you looking at these cars, do not sleep on that car. It is so amazing,
Yeah.
and you're sitting pretty much on the back wheels, and it's got this giant V8 motor, and the handling is amazing, and it feels like you're in a jet fighter because like there's this huge console in the middle separating you and the passenger, and so like every time you're in it, it's like you think like you're in this like cockpit, you know. I loved that car.
One of the interesting things is where the heated seat button is in that car.
Yeah,
It's like literally up here
yeah.
on each side, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
I love that car, and again, we did wheels and loaded. I had full Rentec tune, downpipes. You know, Craig, my cousin's huge into horsepower and making cars go faster. I'm like, just make it sound like it goes fast. I don't need it to go
It
fast.
already goes fast enough.
Yeah, I'm good. It's not like I'm going out there ripping up. But
Did you do another one after that? Or
No.
was it the R8 that came after that?
so then I'd always wanted an R8. And again, like as you level up, and I have the personality where I stretch myself a little too much, which makes
Done that
me
a time or
work
two.
even harder.
True.
But I'd always, and this is a shout out to my friend Adam Faust. You know Adam?
Yeah, Adam's great.
Yeah. Adam, I'd met Adam and his wife, Dawn, who's an amazing human being.
They're wonderful people.
I met them at my bucket store, and we built an R8 for Adam back then. And I watched him stand by and let Dawn, his wife, build the entire thing. She was like, I want that black, I want this. We custom made wheels. I remember Savini's for him. And I swore when I saw that car finished, I was like, I will one day own an R8. I think they're just so beautiful and so sleek. And, you know, for me, a car has to look like it's moving when it's standing still. That, in my opinion, is sheer beauty of the vehicle. And so, yeah, I had the bright idea to get an R8, found one in Chattanooga, drove all the way up there bright and early one day, and then it just so happens that there was construction all the way back. It took me about 4.5, 5 hours to get home.
Shocking to get.
I'm 6'4", and I got out of the car and have never regretted my life so much. I could not feel my hips.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then every time I got in the car, I loved the car. The car was Kimura gray with that cognac interior, the baseball glove interior.
Hard to beat that V10 too.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I loved the car. It was, you know, we had beautiful HREs on it. It was just beautiful. But I couldn't fit in the thing. And I even remember Ed Bolian had one, and I'd gone to him, and Ed's taller than me, and I said, Ed, is this comfortable? Like, and he's like, yeah, no problem. Yeah, fit in it, no problem.
Yeah, Ed's key is just slouching the seat.
Yeah, and then
comfortable is different.
Yeah, the problem is I hate those cars where the seat, you can either get the seat back, but the back comes out, or you can have this back and this comes out.
Pick one, you can't have both.
Yeah, so after about 6 months, I'm like, this ain't it, you know, and I hated selling it, but Craig, my cousin, was heavy into Porsches and GT cars, and he had just bought a 992.1, and he's like, just go take my car for a drive, and I came back, and I'm like, holy moly, like, this is the one. Yeah. So, yeah, I went up from the R8 into that GT3, the 992 GT3.
Yeah, it was a great car.
Amazing car.
Yeah, we took those cars, the white one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we took these cars on a pretty incredible mountain drive. I, at the time, had a 23 Arctic Gray Carrera S. Yeah. And I remember going back to Ed, him doing a mountain drive back when I was at Motorcars. And while I had some tenure at Porsche, I go, hey, we all have 911s. Why don't we just put on a mountain drive? So I put on a mountain drive, and Danny's like, yeah, I'll go. And walk us through that a little bit. That was a fun experience, man.
I'm all about, like, the community and the network. I hate people with egos. I hate people that buy cars for egotistical reasons. Look at me, I'm the best, I'm the greatest. I'm just not that dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of them in this town.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, you know, do you.
Each to their own,
Do you, boo-boo. But on the same hand, I love people who just are chilled. And, you know, I'm not trying to show off. I'm not, you know, I love my car, and I didn't buy this car to impress anybody.
You buy it for you.
It's for me.
Yeah.
And those are my people. Those are my true people.
1,000%.
Yeah, and I think that those are true automotive enthusiasts. But I remember looking forward to it. Like, we had like a 3-month head start into this, and you had the route planned, and I'm like, this is awesome. And we all met up, and we started going, and I'd put aftermarket wheels on my GT3. So I went from the Eagle F1 semi-slick tires into the Michelin 4Ss. There was another GT3 then. You had the Carrera S as well. Yeah. And if anybody knows Grant's a madman. And Grant drives like, you know, his Michael Schumacher.
I'm a lot more chill now, but yeah.
I mean, and so anyway, you know, and he had specifically said on the invitation, we're not trying to race. Nobody's trying to get there first. This is a spirited drive, blah, 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 blah. And the first thing we do, get on the highway off Old Milton Parkway. I remember we met at the gas station. And I'd been dating my amazing girlfriend for like a few months, and I'm like, hey, we're going to go do this mountain ride. You want to come? And she was like, yeah, absolutely, you know. And as we get on the highway, I'm like, you know, tell her, don't worry, it's not going to be fast. We just, you know, just cruise. And as we get on the highway, just Grant is like, just gone. And I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, oh my God, you know. Anyway, everything calmed down and we chilled out on 400. But then we get into the mountains, and I mean, I'm pushing this car, and I think that was one of the biggest reasons of why I sold the GT3. It was a manual. I had fat man seats in it, which, you know, if anybody you try and convince me that the bucket seats are superior, That's not true at all. The fat man seats there's no ego involved. You're comfortable, you know. And you try and get into those stupid bucket seats that don't move back and forth. God,
They're brutal.
Yeah. But anyway, we're in the mountains, and I think I'm doing pretty good, you know. But here comes Grant just flying past me. I'm at full throttle, you know, swinging it through these twisties, and here's Grant in his little Carrera S just overtaking everybody. And I think I've even still got a video.
Yeah.
Where I turned to my girlfriend because she was filming at that time when you overtook me, and I was like, "Holy, like, how's this guy doing this? Stock wheels, stock tires, stock car, you know, and here you are with all this fancy like suspension and exhaust, and it's a GT3, you know." And I'm like, "Oh my God!" We stopped, and I'm like, "Bro, that is just next level."
I'm right at home on the street. I mean, I don't do that stuff anymore, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll revive it.
Yeah.
So that's the definition.
I think you do. You just don't.
Yeah.
I think you do. You just don't tell anybody.
Well, what was funny is I brought a colleague from work with me, and he was thinking the same thing. He's like, "Oh yeah, mountain drive. You know, look at the birds, the mountains, this sort of thing." Well, I didn't know that he was. He never told me that he was hungover that day.
Oh my God.
And we're done with the drive, and we're heading back. He's like, "Oh man," I was like, "How was it?" He's like, "It's pretty good." He's like, "I'm a little hungover." I was like, "Oh man." He's like, "Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be like that." He's like, "I was thinking birds, mountains, that sort of thing." Like, you're just wide open the entire time. He's like, "I made it though. I made it."
No, what was funny, the final stop that we had, I actually got engaged there to my ex-wife.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so when we pulled up, so I actually proposed on that hill.
Incredible.
Yeah, and the proposal, because I spray painted it on the ground, and the proposal was still there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, anybody feel free to do a burnout over that thing.
Yeah.
So it was a great day. I mean, I don't do those often, but when I do, I mean, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And,
great memory.
yeah, I'm always convinced that whoever designed those roads in the mountains probably worked for Six Flags. And yeah. So,
can you talk a little bit about sort of the next chapter, the 2.0?
So
say what you can, I guess. Right?
No, I mean, look, it's everybody knows. We made this decision. We were made an offer that we couldn't walk away from for Butler. My uncle was getting ready to retire, and we sold Butler in 2022. And by the end of 23, I realized that somebody telling me what to do just because they came from Wendy's, literally, and had no idea about the luxury. It just wasn't for me. Corporate just wasn't for me. The bureaucracy, the hierarchy, the amount of time, and I just found that corporate's just in its own way. The redundancies and efficiencies were just not there, so it wasn't for me. So I decided I left Butler, and contractually I could not go through or near the automotive industry for about 2 years. And about a year in, and again, when I stepped away, there was a lot of resentment there because I loved the industry. I loved the people. I couldn't communicate with anybody. I couldn't hang out with anybody. I couldn't, because there was a potential that it looked like I was trying to, take away business. So I just did the smart thing, and like I said, me and my girlfriend decided to go and travel, lots of coconuts and palm trees. But about a year into it, I kept on getting calls like, "What are you doing? I'm at Butler, you're not here, it's not the same." It's, and that's what happens. I mean, I don't fault anybody. The new owners purchased the company. It's theirs. They can control everything and anything. But again, things change. Their metric of success was different to ours. Ours was, how many people could we make smile? How many connections could we make? How many people did we network with that eventually became clients? That was our measurement of success. Obviously, gross profit, net profit, all of that has to make sense. But at the end of the day, I continued to get these calls, and I was like, you know what? If I had to open up my own location, what would it look like? And I've been fortunate enough that I work with an amazing company called Hensler Financial now. I do a lot of consulting for them. They're an amazing group of people.
Yeah, we just had that event the other week.
Yeah. And the synergy between the culture at Butler and the culture at Hensler Financial, which they do wealth management and tax planning and retirement and everything under the wealth management
Free plug.
umbrella. Yeah, sorry, free plug. But Bill Lako and Stacy are the two owners, and they're just amazing humans. And so I've been working with them all along on a consulting basis for marketing and branding and etc. But it gave me a little bit of time to, like, if I wanted to build my own location, what would that look like? And I took everything that I loved about Butler and everything we wanted to implement at Butler but couldn't, due to various reasons, what would that look like? And so eventually, thankfully, with the use of AI and all the tools that are available to us out there, I came up with this business plan, and before I knew it, it was a full cohesive plan. And I'm like, well, let me pursue this and see where it would go. And so that's the next phase is that's why I mentioned earlier, a lot of people don't know how difficult it is to get a business off the ground. And I'm meeting with a lot of very, very successful business owners. I talk to a lot of them. I ask a lot of questions. It is probably one of the most humbling experiences that I've ever come from, because you came from a legacy brand that's 50 years old, and you're strong and powerful, and your roots are deep in Atlanta, and you're starting from nothing, and the questions that are being asked are legitimate concerns. And listen, if money's no object, you can go and open whatever you want, and you could fail, and it means nothing. But when money is a concern, you have to be mindful of every little dime that you're spending. And now I understand. Gary, my other business partner, was always very adamant about expenses. Keep expenses down, and now I understand why. Yeah. But the evolution is something that I'm working on, and whether it comes to fruition is still to be determined. But yeah, ideally I would love to open another location and get my network back out, or get myself back out there and create those relationships.
We need you, Dani.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that all the time. I hear over and over and over, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? And I mean, contractually I couldn't be around for 2 years, but that was over this past November, and I finally got to go to some car shows and even here and do this, and I love it. I miss it. I love the people. I love the culture. I love the challenges. I have no problem putting in the hours. So I'm excited about it, but it's challenging, and it's challenging to do it by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if you're anything like me, which I think you are, I mean, you almost feel like you're obligated to the community, like you owe it to the people in the community. Yeah. They want what you have.
Yeah, I don't know. I created such meaningful connections, and there may be people that I don't speak to, for a long time. We friends on social, they know what I'm doing, and look, if you looked at my social, you'd think I was on vacation for the past 2 years. But nobody wants to see you sitting behind a computer doing research on commercial locations and wondering why they won't zone it for automotive. Yeah. I mean, so if I'm on vacation, or I'm blessed enough that my girlfriend is a travel nurse, so she works 3 to 4 days out of the week. And when she doesn't have her amazing children, then she's free. She's free on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And often, thankfully with her, I mean, I love it. I love traveling with her, and it's so easy. But she'll be like, hey, you want to go to Mexico this weekend? And I'm like, sure, let's go.
That's awesome.
I know lots of people that get excited about looking at deal pipelines and going through that stuff. So
yeah,
I would be like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
but it's hard. Go figure out how you find a spot, find a location you can do it, get stuff approved.
It's whenever you think that you've thought of everything, you go and meet with somebody, and by all means, I think that a lot of people, and again, ego, like I'm not an egotistical person, and it means nothing. Money means nothing to me. You need it to survive, obviously, but it doesn't define you, and it doesn't intimidate me either. And so I love surrounding myself with way more successful people than I am, and I love seeing them be successful. And I think in today's times with social media, there's a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of anger instead of praise. Praise the person who put the time in and the effort in. I don't know, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's opening up a collection of vehicles or this location. The first thing I walked in, and I'm like, I know how difficult it was to get this place up and running. And I look at the fittings and the fixtures, and I know that you invested a lot of money into this, and you took a gamble. And I think that that's the part that people miss out. People will walk through the door and be like, oh my God, this place is beautiful, but it doesn't really click unless you've been through the process yourself.
You've been through the ringer of it.
Yeah, you know, and the sleepless nights. I mean, there's been, you can even ask my girlfriend. I mean, I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and my brain is going and going and going. I can't stop it.
Yeah.
You know, and so, yeah, the grind and the build, and then one day being able to step back and be like, I did that.
Yeah.
You know, no ego involved. I did that. I built that. I put my heart, my sweat, blood, and tears into it, and I'm proud of what I did. Now, whether you're successful and you sail into the sunset is a whole different story. But yeah, I mean, I love that. That's what I live for.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs are doing it to prove it to themselves.
Yeah.
That's what they want to prove it to. They want to prove it to themselves that they can do it.
Yeah.
And look,
More than anything.
by all means, you know how many people I've spoken to that are like, D, don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. You know, don't do this. Don't. And every time they do that, and again, I'm going to look straight in the camera. Every time you say that and every time you do it, it just motivates me even more, because now not only do I have to prove to myself that what I had in my brain as a concept could be a reality, and it could be a successful reality, but all the other people that were like, wasting your money, you're going to lose money, you don't have the capital, you don't have this, you don't have that, you know, I think that's what the American dream was built on.
Absolutely.
Is, you know, and it's funny because a lot of the question I used to get all the time at Butler is, what's the key to success? And first of all, I don't have that answer. But all I do know is that personally, from my own personal work ethic, is if I applied myself 1%, 5% more than anybody else, I was going to be more successful. And that is life. It is. If you're in a road race or in a 100-meter sprint, and the guy next to you put in 5% more effort in training in order to get to that point, and you lost, well, it's because he put 5% more. Yeah. And why are you going to hate on him? And that's what I think society does, is like, you hating on somebody for being successful. Like, no, like he's successful because he put in the time and he put in the effort and he worked hard. He deserves everything, and it doesn't matter whether it's the cars or the houses or the lifestyle or whatever. It praise a person who is successful and worked hard. Yeah. And again, I don't care if you built it from the start or if you were given it or whatever. Owning and running a business is difficult. It is hours and hours that a lot of people would give up and would fail, and it takes a very specific personality to go down that path and to sustain it. So,
and not too many people are jealous of the grind
Not
and
at
effort
all.
that has to go in. They don't look back. It's like, man, that part was probably awesome.
Yeah,
They like the outcome.
yeah.
You'd be jealous.
I mean, how long did it take you guys to build this place? Once you found it?
It took us 4 years to find a place that would actually work.
Yeah. 4 years where you had this concept, sleepless nights, you imagine how amazing it's going to be, you imagine all the people that you're going to bring in, all the connections you're going to make, the revenue that you're going to generate, and then you find the location. And then all of a sudden it's an empty shell. Now you've got to figure out flooring, fittings, fixtures, then you've got to think about marketing and sustaining. And, you know, so I think that a lot of people tend to black out when it comes to how did the concept start? And then how did they get to the position that they are? I mean, we've got a few mutual friends that we've watched over the last 20 years grow from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 locations to multiple businesses, multiple locations. And I do nothing but congratulate them. Yeah. Again, you deserve everything that you have in life. Every time you post yourself on a yacht in Monte Carlo or in wherever the hell you are, I do not sit there and be like, oh my God, I hate this guy. Yeah. No, you worked hard, you deserve it.
It's inspirational.
End of story. Yeah, it is inspirational.
And a lot of these guys had very humble beginnings.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, listen, I think everybody's on this earth for a limited amount of time. I had a heart attack when I was 41, changed my life, changed my view on everything. My entire life was focused around being rich. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to be rich when I was growing up, when I was in my 20s, 30s. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. Have a heart attack. I was 60% dead when they rolled me into the ER. Came out of it, fully recovered. It changed my whole perspective because nothing else mattered than being healthy and waking up every single day. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, I love life. And thank you for one more day on this earth.
Amen. Well, as we wrap up, and thanks for coming, by the way, you brought just an incredible machine here today. Tell us a little bit about
my 992.1 GTS. I love the 911 platform, and I think that once you own one, you will forever have one and you understand it. I mean, I know you miss yours. And
I'm without one currently, but
and you spend the rest of your time saying, I will get one again, and that's, again, motivation to work harder and get out there. But I found this one I was looking for a while to trade my GT3, and my GT3 was an amazing car. I wanted something that I could daily, and I didn't feel bad about putting miles on. And the GTS is the absolute perfect platform for that, in my opinion. You can put miles onto it. It's amazing. It's fast. I found this one somehow. I think the person had spec'd it just to get an allocation, and it was exactly what I was looking for. The color, it was ice gray metallic, which was not a common color back in 23, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was a brand new color that year too.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
And I remember you had one as well, but it had an ugly blue interior, and I'm like, who specs it like this?
That's why I didn't push it too hard on it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think you want this.
Well, I mean, we went on a test drive. It was me and Grant in the front and my girlfriend in the back
I
seat.
laid the foundation for
no,
this
you
car.
actually went in the back seat.
I was in the back seat.
You went in the back seat?
Yeah.
It's not very comfortable.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
But anyway, I found
Where'd
this
you put your
one.
legs?
You kind of sit like
You're gonna sit
sideways.
Sideways, yeah. It was, and I'm like, Grant, just sit in the front. She's 4'10". She can get no.
I don't even think I buckled the seatbelt because it would just been kind of pointless.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But obviously lowered. Got 1886 wheels on, which in my opinion are just so brilliantly made, and the quality is there. And big shout out and plug to them. Hadrian's an amazing guy from 1886. If you ever need wheels, but. Lowered it on adjustable springs. I think they're KWs. Yeah, which are amazing. I think they're actually better than the Porsche suspension. Wrapped in Michelin's. We did an M engineering tune, and I think it's got soul cats on it, which opens up that turbo whistle.
Yeah.
Which I love, and it's the perfect car because I can arrive at the Ritz-Carlton with my girlfriend and go for dinner and know that it's going to be parked up front. I can go to a car show and I know that it's going to have an impact. Is it a Turbo S? No, it's not. Is it a GT3? No, it's not a GT3. But I think that's where Porsche shines, is that every single one of their models, through the vertical of their available vehicles, they all have their place. And this one perfectly suits me for now.
GTS is a nice blend of like a lot of the favorite cars that Porsche has.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, even my girlfriend drives a Miami blue Porsche Macan GTS. You know, and even in that platform, the Macan platform, the GTS is still, it's again, it's not a GT3, it's not a turbo, it's in the perfect place between the S, the 4S, and the GT cars. Yep. So I love it. I daily it. I daily it. I got it with 500 miles. I think it's got 6,000 miles in it now, and that's almost 2 years later.
That's great.
I do have another vehicle that I daily, but I love it. I love it, and it's if I'm able to and financially it makes sense, I will forever own a Porsche vehicle of some sort.
Speaking of which, we're going to rapid fire round.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is everybody's favorite part here. So
I'm ready.
All right, dream 3-car garage right now today.
355 Spider. I will forever. And I don't care what anybody says about reliability. I will forever have a Range Rover, either shorty or full, whatever, in my garage. And then, like, I don't know, the Spectre is if they made that in a combustion engine, I think that thing would be so nasty.
I love the coupes.
But even in electric, I don't know. I think it's just nasty. Like
Something
you look at
about
it and it's intimidating. Yeah. You know, the thing is so big and yeah, definitely. So Range Rover, I'd have a Ferrari 355 Spider all day, with all of its little quirks, and the Spectra.
That's good choices.
Yeah.
Best wheel setup you've ever done or seen?
Oh Jesus. I mean, that's a difficult one. I've literally seen everything.
I've got mine up here.
Yeah, I've seen like $35,000-$40,000 sets of wheels. I mean, with carbon fiber lips. And there was one guy, I have to tell you one story, who came in. He was from Dubai, okay, and he had an X6M back then when the X6M platform had just come out, and he's like, I want Asante wheels. And I'm like, okay. And Asante was very much a la carte. You could customize every single aspect. I mean, you could have this wheel be 6 different colors and have engraving that was customized, and he customized everything. I mean, the set of wheels was $26,000, and I mean, back in 2000, whenever that X6M came out, that was a lot of money. Yeah, and I remember him having to call his dad in Dubai, you know, to say, hey, you know, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, $26,000. And he was like, but Dad, you don't understand, you know. So that was the craziest set of wheels there. But I mean, I've seen it all. There's nothing from donks to, you know, Freddie the Falcon from the Atlanta Falcons used to drive a 4-wheeler onto the field. And we took the 4-wheeler wheels off and we put spinners on, and had the Falcons on it and everything. So that's also a crazy setup. But I mean, there's so many. Yeah.
The car that represents you the best.
911.
One car trend that needs to disappear immediately.
Oh my God, I'm going to get so much.
Come on, no, say it.
The stance. Listen, I appreciate every aspect of the automotive category. I just don't understand it. It just, to be riding around on the inside of the tires and kill tires every 2,000 miles. I don't know. I just look at it and please don't hate me for it, because I appreciate it. And if I ever do open up another location, I would love to be your tire shop of choice. But I just don't get it.
Those are the customers you need.
I've never.
2,000 miles.
That's right.
I know, but I've never understood the whole stance. I don't know. It's just. Please don't hate me for it, but it's just my thing. I can appreciate that you love it, and it's a trend that you into. It's exactly like the tuner cars or Italian or whatever. I can appreciate it. It just, to me, I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, I don't understand it.
Dani Butler, everybody. No, seriously. Thanks, brother. Thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me. This was awesome, man. Oh, amazing. Let's do it.
Thanks, guys.